It was the day that changed everything, June 6, 1944. The world was locked in the grip of World War II, and Nazi Germany seemed invincible. But this day would prove that no empire is eternal. The largest invasion in military history was about to unfold, and in a single stroke, the fate of Nazi Germany and the freedom of Europe would be sealed. How? Let's find out. Imagine the scene. The beaches of Normandy, France. 5 beaches, fortified with concrete bunkers, machine guns, and thousands of Nazi soldiers ready to fight to the death. But the Allies had a plan, Operation Overlord, a massive military strike to breach the German defenses and liberate Western Europe. It's June 6, 1944. D-Day, the clock is ticking. Thousands of Allied soldiers are preparing to risk it all, 156,000 of them, to storm the beaches. They're about to face an enemy force determined to hold its ground. This would be no ordinary battle, no easy victory. The odds? Overwhelming, but the stakes? Unimaginable. Here's where it gets wild. The Germans thought they knew exactly where the invasion was coming. They'd been fooled. For months, the Allies had fed them fake intelligence, creating decoy armies, fake tanks, and even bluffing about the location of the attack. The Nazis thought the real invasion would hit at Pas-de-Calais, the closest point to England. They were dead wrong. The Allies chose Normandy, miles away, and the Germans had no idea it was coming. Now, let's get to the action. At daybreak, the first wave of soldiers hit the beaches. The sky was filled with bombers, the ocean churned with warships, and from the sand, machine gun fire erupted. The beaches, Omaha, Utah, Sword, Gold, and Juneau, became killing fields. At Omaha Beach, American forces faced brutal resistance. Waves of soldiers were cut down by Nazi fire before they could even set foot on the land. Over 2,000 Americans died on Omaha alone. But the soldiers didn't stop. They pressed forward, despite the chaos, despite the horror. This wasn't just about soldiers. This was about freedom. Every step they took, every inch of sand was earned at the cost of blood and sacrifice. And slowly, but surely, the Allies broke through. The real twist? This wasn't just a military operation. This was the psychological blow that crushed Nazi morale. The Germans had thought they could hold their ground, but the sheer scale of the attack made it clear. The Allies had come with everything they had. It was no longer just a battle of armies. It was the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. Fast forward, by the end of that first day, the Allies had established a beachhead in Normandy. They were in France, and the German forces were scrambling to regroup. What happened next? The Allies kept pushing forward, breaking through defenses, liberating towns and cities, and forcing the Germans to retreat. The war had shifted in favor of the Allies, and the Nazis were in full retreat on all fronts. But here's the most mind-blowing part. Even after D-Day, it wasn't over. The Allies continued to battle their way inland, eventually liberating Paris by August. But by then, the writing was on the wall for Nazi Germany. The Western Front was open, and with the Soviets pushing from the east, the Nazis had nowhere to run. In less than a year, Nazi Germany would fall. May 7, 1945, Germany surrenders unconditionally. The dream of a 1,000-year Reich, built on tyranny and hate, was crushed, all thanks to D-Day, the operation that tipped the scales in favor of the Allies and sealed the fate of the Nazis. So why does D-Day matter? Because it wasn't just the victory of a battle, it was the turning point of the war. It was about showing the world that no matter how dark the times, there's always hope, always a chance to fight back. The bravery shown on the beaches of Normandy wasn't just about soldiers following orders. It was about standing up to evil and refusing to back down. Today we remember D-Day not just as the day the tide turned in World War II, but as a symbol of human resilience, sacrifice, and the unyielding fight for freedom.